All right, everybody. Let's do a brief audio and visual check. If you can hear me okay. You can see who I have with us. We have
How's it going, guys?
Baron.
Earlier today.
Yeah, we were trading it up. Both locked out of our live accounts for fast markets, but here we are. Let's just make sure that the audio works for everybody. I'm going to go ahead and plug in some music, make sure the music is okay, make sure all the settings that I was using with Coach Jay work, and make sure there's no echo. So, looks good. Sounds good. I got the music. Can you make sure everyone could hear it? Make sure it's not too loud and blowing out everyone's eardrums. Chat will probably have me turn it down a little bit because it's a little sensitive depending. Lower? Yeah, lower. Let's see. Just a tiny bit. Okay, it should be a little bit better. Okay. Well, if you want to just start us off, Baron, after I run through our risk disclosure, that is, as always, in the YouTube chat. If you guys don't know or have not been around, I always do that Topstep risk disclosure because we know it's for educational purposes only. It's not a signals class, regardless of what you might think. Now, let's start us off. Hit it, Baron. How was your evening? And looks like you're on the ES.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna switch to ES full time, even the overnight. I'm kind of over NQ and how much it wicks and all of that. But it's kind of crazy because I used to watch you on slow markets and I wasn't necessarily like following the trades, but just like listening to like what you were saying and like the advice you would provide. That was probably like a year and a half ago or something. So
oh wow,
it's kind of crazy to see like how far you can go in like a year. But yeah, I was talking to Dakota about a little overnight strategy that I cooked up using Edgeful, and I can run through that. You want me to run through that, Dakota?
Yeah, man, run through it. These markets are moving. Real quick, let's just go over a little bit of overview for tonight. We had earnings, big earnings. Everybody, you can see this in the market. We were talking about this in the green room before coming on air, and earnings were average, maybe a little bit better, but guidance was not too great. That's why you could see Apple and Amazon down. And then as we were preparing to come on air, this market just started just ripping straight up. And Baron, I believe you said that possible news out of China about trade talks. And ever since then, we're up. I mean, this keeps going. I mean, we're up well over 120 points from those lows. And
yeah, he used to up 40 points as well too. So I would wait for the retrace on this because I do think there will be one. But that strategy I was talking about. So I love the initial balance, right? I use it every single day. So I was like looking into Asia, and I was like, let me see if there's a initial balance for Asia. Since Asia moves so slow, what I did was I modified the time from 1 hour of the initial balance to 3 hours, right? Because typically you'll see London and Asia, they trend together, and London will also only break one side of Asia's highs the majority of the time. So there's some London-Asia correlation there, and then London typically likes to only break one side of Asia. And then if you extend the initial balance on Asia to like 3 hours instead of, the hour, just because the market moves so slow, the stats are very similar to the New York initial balance. So you just wait for one side to break and then you wait for the retrace. It's the exact same strategy. It's just you modify it slightly.
How have you been trading these slow markets? Like, how has your trading been at this time of night?
Well, I think, recently it's been kind of shit. I'm not going to lie. But I think that's because I'm not like doing the analysis on the slow markets. It's like I get done trading for the day and then like I'll get home from the gym and I'm just like kind of bored, like trading out of boredom there. And then I end up hitting like DLL or whatever it is. But now that I started to like actually put the analysis on it, right? Like I should have been doing. They've been better. I've been doing some call outs in my Discord. Last night I said possible trend in the overnight. Some people caught that. I called out a short right before we got on. It was from it was on NQ. So let me hop over there. This was the trade. It was this 618 trade right in here. I called that out. Some people took it for about 40 points there. And then we just started ripping out of nowhere. So,
okay. Yeah, it looked like we were going to break down below those 760s, and then we just ripped 100 points. I'm tempted to short this, though. I do have to say that. And
yeah, it's one of those things that it's tricky to call the short on it.
It is.
Once you start trending in Asia, I feel like you just continue to trend. It continues to do that. Who calls it the zombie rally? It continues to do zombie rally or zombie fall, right? Where it just grinds up or grinds down.
Yeah, until like right an hour before London Open, and sometimes we see a reversal around there.
Choppy. It gets choppy before London Open. We are right at the 618. We're in the golden pocket, so I could see shorts. It's just we're so close to my initial balance range set for Asia. I've only been using this for like a week, but it seems like it plays out pretty nicely. I would expect the high to break in this case, but like I don't want to long it unless we get a pullback.
Fair enough. I don't know what it is on me, man. I've been thinking shorts for all month. I mean, it's just, and then we have this huge sell-off at the end of the day. And I mean, look at this level that we are at right now in, well, you're looking at the ES, so I don't want you to get caught too much on the NASDAQ.
Yeah, I think once we got above, right, we had that big rally on the 9th where Trump like announced some tariff or whatever. Tariff rollback.
Yep.
And it like the 12% or whatever it was. Once we got above that, I was leaning I was like, okay, now the bulls are in control, because before it was just bears, right? It's been bears the past 2 months. But once we were able to sustain that 12% rally, I was like, okay, now the bulls are in control. Yeah. That's how I at it.
Which, I mean, it makes sense, right? Looking from a pure technical standpoint over the past, 24 hours, this was a major support or resistance level. These 880s, I was looking for it last night. We never did get it until this morning. And you can see where it was, resistance support. Seen support here again during the New York session open. And then tonight, after the earnings came off, it looks like we rallied up. I can't say the night, maybe after hours while we had earnings. This was resistance. And so I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a bit of a pullback. What you're looking for there. I just have a hard time buying this right now after that major sell-off and after the earnings. I haven't seen the stocks yet, but I can imagine Apple and Amazon are both probably deep in the red.
Let me check my
let's take a look.
My Thinkorswim is usually how I look at it for overnight.
Let's take a look. Oh wow, okay, yeah, Apple's down almost 4%.
Let me check if there's a difference.
And Amazon's about 3%. NASDAQ is...
Apple in the overnight is green now.
Let's see.
Apple closed at... Okay, wait. No, sorry, I read it wrong. Apple closed at 213.32.
Correct.
Right now it's trading at 206.
Okay, so it's up a little bit from this, obviously, that I'm looking at. I'm looking at 205 quarter. So it's...
Yeah, so it's up a little bit.
Yeah, up a little bit more. It's not continuing to sell off anyway, because sometimes we'll get that. And then we'll just...
Amazon's at 185.50.
Tank, yeah. Yeah, usually we'd get it and we just have a very ugly sell-off. But, I mean, buy the dip market, Anyone? I mean, every time we rally, we say, yeah, waiting for a pullback. We got it, and now we are wishing we bought that dip, to be honest.
So the tweet was, or what China said it's assessing the situation after U.S. officials reached out through relevant parties to seek tariff negotiations from CNBC.
Okay.
So that's probably the reason for this rally.
So we just keep going. That little sell-off was a beautiful opportunity to buy the dip. Going through some of the chat. I mean, I don't really feel like looking at any of these other markets. I mean, have you placed any trades in ES at this time?
No, I was trading on a combine and I was trading on that combine all day today.
Okay.
I had like an 80% win rate on the day. I did pretty well on ES. It was my first time trading ES in like over like a year and a half. And it was just like, I could just see it all so clearly. I had the long, I had the short, I had the long on the retrace, and then I had the short at the end of the day as well.
I know. ES is forever. I recommend traders for ES when they're learning to trade, and even some of the most consistent traders are on the ES, right? Because they avoid a lot of the craziness that happens in the NASDAQ. Maybe it's just me. I'm still in the NASDAQ, but I do look at these other markets. Like, for example, this gold on the hourly chart. We had that big sell-off, and we broke through these 370s, 380s, and we came back all the way down to 210s, and we bounced right off that level, 210, 211, and we are back up to these 250s. We're seeing a lot of volatility in gold.
Gold's been wild.
It has been. It's been a trader's dream. There's a lot of traders here during slow markets that they do trade gold, and
yeah, because you get all the volume that comes in during the Asia market.
Yeah, they do, and they've been loving it. They've been loving this volatility. It's been difficult to short it because it's been such a very bullish rally, but we now broke down, and I would not be opposed for looking for short opportunities in gold on any bounces, because as of right now, the intermediate trend, not the long term, obviously the long term that we've been looking at for the past year or more has been buy the dip, but the trend that we're seeing over the past couple weeks, equities are going up, right? Gold is showing some weakness, so I wouldn't be surprised at some short opportunities in gold.
Yeah, I think it tapped at 3,500 level, and then just rejected sharply off it. It was up there for literally a couple minutes.
Yeah.
And then it's just been signed off ever since. I think it was just you have all this concerns about tariffs and all the other noise going on. People are just looking somewhere place to stash their gold. You also, I don't know if you've seen it, but apparently there was you could go to banks in London, and you used to be able to get gold the same day, and then in the past year or so, it was taking a week or two to get gold. I don't know if that's not, but I saw it on Twitter. So
interesting. Okay, yeah. I know that there's a whole big craze about Costco gold, buying gold at Costco. I never did that, but
yeah, my mom's my mom's old. She's almost 70, and she's like, I hope you're buying gold, and I'm like, yeah, Mom. Or I could just buy some options contracts.
Yeah. Jay's short gold in the chat. Jay is short gold, so it's nice to see that. I might jump into a short here. I'm in my live account, and I'm not opposed for a gold short.
Okay, I thought you were gonna say like a NASDAQ or an ES short. I was getting a little sketched out there for a second. I was like, I don't know about shorts here.
Oh, I need to reach out to the risk team. I have to enable. I got the data. It didn't. I know. I got it. I got to get that figured out. Man, this short looks tempting. I have not traded gold in my live account yet. But I've been only trading it in my combine, and I am trying to expand my live account. It's been solely NASDAQ. I'm a very loyal person to the NASDAQ.
Even though it causes you pain and suffering.
Some days. But the good days are just so good. It makes up for all that pain and suffering.
We are pushing up to a supply zone here on the 15-minute where we sold off right before earnings. I wouldn't necessarily short here, but I want to see how this reacts to this level, up here.
Yeah, gold's selling off. Jay's making money, and yeah, I see that. ES and NASDAQ are both just continuing to pump.
They are not stopping. It's just been strong. I almost entered at this 920 candle, and then I decided not to, and now I'm kind of kicking myself because it's up.
Yeah, you almost entered at 800 too.
Yeah, I was watching NASDAQ at the time. I wasn't watching ES, but the candle's the same. So I was watching at here. I was watching here, and I was like, "Do I enter this?" And then I decided not to, and now it's rallied 140 points. NQ hasn't pushed up to the same level ES has. So it's lagging a bit. We are pushing into that resistance area. I don't know if it's resistance though, because it hasn't been tapped yet. This is the first time it's tapping into it.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I could see 20,000 in the NASDAQ. I mean, there's FOMO right now in this market for sure.
100%.
Like easy when it comes to the buyers stepping in, and I mean,
yeah,
hear it a little bit in our voices and us watching this market. I mean, wow, yeah. I mean, slow markets. No, we're up.
Slow markets is fast markets some nights.
We're up 200 points in slow markets. That is a normal slash. That's like a normal day during the New York session.
Yeah. I mean, the days haven't been that normal in the past since Trump's been president. No, the days have really been normal.
Yeah, normal day.
You're getting like 500-point days, which is insane. And even though the VIX has come down, the volatility hasn't died out.
Get the music back on for a minute, and while we watch these markets, it's hands off for me right now. I mean, that gold trade for Jay's, it's cooking. It's cooking to the downside.
If we push into here, I'd be interested to see. This is crazy. This is crazy in the overnight. Like, what is going on? Watch that come out. Watch that come out and be like a fake headline from CNBC, and then the market just dumps.
Don't jinx.
What was the last one CNBC did? CNBC they had a fake headline recently.
Did they?
Yeah,
they had the that 90-day tariff pause fake.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
it turned out it wasn't fake. It was just they thought it was fake for a second or whatever. They walked it back because Trump was announcing it a couple days later.
Yeah, I'm always like, whenever I see the reports, I'm like, okay, is this true or not? Like, you kind of have to go with a bit of skepticism nowadays, which is unfortunate. But there's that guy, he was on Twitter, his like Twitter handle had like Bloomberg in it or some shit, and some people trading based off that, or
yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, that's what it was. That's what caused the giant spike, and then completely reversed. 4% up, 4% down, and what was it? 2 days later, 14% from bottom to top.
Yeah.
In the NASDAQ. And I'm watching this. I tell you what, That is one heck of a move, and we're getting right back into these
Nothing
960s.
but great. I kind of want to look at Bookmap. I don't usually look at Bookmap at night, but it might be interesting tonight. I'd like to see a retrace off this supply zone. That gives me an opportunity at long, but we'll see. We'll see if it gives it to us. It's just been up, up, up.
This keeps going up. Maybe 970s. I then we have that round number of 20,000 in the Nasdaq. Switch over to micros and trade this thing up.
Yeah, I might have to do the same. Just hop on the micros for tonight, or just wait for a pullback to get long.
Trading is also optional.
Yeah, trading is optional. Trading is optional.
Yeah,
It's a bit hard when you're unemployed, though.
True. True.
Yeah, the volume it's all just buys. Nothing like too crazy, but there's some buy volume. 153 at 19,890s. It looks like we are getting some sells coming in here. But I would like to see us hold somewhere in here. If we could hold this, if we could hold 5640 level.
Okay, I'll take a look at the ES with you. Yeah. Let me. There you go. I got. Check out your ES.
Yeah, I don't have much on the chart. Just this supply zone from where we sold off.
Could you expand the?
Oh yeah.
The dashboard, just so we gotta make sure all the internet tabs are appropriate.
Yeah, I've only got trading stuff.
Okay, I'm just making sure. I was like, I don't want to switch screens until we do a double check with the internet. Hurry, delete the internet browser history before we switch. Yeah, go ahead. I'm watching the ES with you now.
We had an ES buyer.
Trace that entire move.
274 at 5648. It's a bit far on the C anchor the fib here, but like that's being really aggressive with the fibs. And I don't always like to do that. I prefer to look at the longer term view. We are about to set my initial balance for Asia here, though. So.
Okay. And that gold trade, the gold trade from Jay is just continuing to cook to the downside. It's selling off. Great trade, Jay. Hoops probably in it as well. I missed out on that one. But Nasdaq 9 freaking 60s. ES is more bullish though.
Yeah, it looks like it. So I'd look for a retrace in this area. This like 450 to or 5650 to 5640 level. See if buyers sustain us there. See if we can get a nice entry.
Yeah.
If we do, I might put some size on. I might put two cons on, but I don't know.
Someone's saying Trump speaking. Is that true? Is that true, everybody? Is Donald Trump really speaking right now? Yeah, at the University of Alabama?
When is he, yeah, University of Alabama. When is he not speaking, though?
Every day. Every day. I'd be okay with a short Nasdaq here. Maybe we get a 3-bar reversal if we break below these 42s.
Yeah, it's just tough to short it when it's got.
I know, man. I know. I know exactly what you mean. We're up 0.37% from settlement. Oh, well, I just need to shut up and just do it instead of talking about it. Do you trade supply and demand? Or do you just use, you love Fibonacci's, right?
So the basis of my strategy is fibs with the initial balance. And then I will add larger time frame supply and demand zones to give me bias going into the day. And then I'll also do like 15-minute or 1 hour supply demand zones. I don't trade like strictly off them. They're just areas of interest to me to see if like, if we start crushing through one supply zone, it tells me that like the next supply zone is just going to break, or the one after that will break. Right. Same thing with demand zones. Like you'll see it on aggressive sell-off days where like I'll have like 3 demand zones marked out. It busts through one of them, right? The next one, I expect it's either going to grind through it or bust through it as well. That's kind of how I use it more for like areas where there might be buyers or sellers, but not necessarily. Like I know some people use supply and demand and they just hop in based off it hitting a level. It's more so like I want to gauge the interest at that level and see if there's momentum to follow through.
Okay. And you can look at that ES. That ES is still holding the 56, and then the Nasdaq, it already made that 3-bar reversal and pushed down just a little bit.
Yeah, it's at the 940s.
56, 57. Have you traded any other markets? I mean,
I've traded gold a little bit, and then I tried to trade oil, but I was terrible at it, so I just stopped.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Testing out these other markets, seeing how you view them, seeing how you trade them, seeing your results, and then you make that decision. Like, yeah, you know,
I was trading gold, but I've just stopped trading it in the live account because I just don't have the data feed set up. I'd be open to it, but like I'd rather just stick to like 1 or 2 assets, right? Nasdaq, ES, for me.
Okay, yeah, I like that. I'll look at Nasdaq and gold and crude, and yeah, I still look at the Nikkei, the Japanese market, every once in a while. But
yeah, I
not
remember
lately.
that. I remember hopping on slow markets and you'd be trading the Nikkei.
Yeah, not lately. Not during this crazy time, the past month or two. So it's been put in the back burner, and I'll look at it. I look at it every once in a while, but focus Nasdaq and lately gold. Gold's been obviously, like tonight, it's been pretty nice for traders.
Yeah, looking at the volume profile, there's a lot of gaps in this volume profile here. On ES especially, like there's so many like areas where there was no transactions at. 56.51, no transactions. 56.48, no transactions. 56.42, no transactions. 56.30, no transactions. Like the volume profile is not very nice right now, because typically on the volume profiles you'll see you'll see a big, like I don't know what you would call it, like a big hill almost, and then you see it like slow down and it will make like another hill, and you'll see it come back down to fill that like lower end slope, or like low volume node is what you would call it. But here it's just like a bunch of spikes. It's weird. It's weird seeing the volume profile like that.
Interesting. No, Jay, no big trades no big orders on the books tonight, but look at this Nasdaq. It's down, 40 points from that high, where It's some FOMO, man. FOMO on the way up, FOMO on the way down. I missed that. That's a big failure to actually place that trade. I shoulda, but there's gonna be more opportunities present itself.
The biggest order on NASDAQ is 153 volume transacted at 19,889 at the moment. And then ES was a buy order for 330 at 5649. Those are really the only like big standouts. There was some more down in the 530 area. That was one of the gaps I mentioned.
There's a big order that came through right there at the highs at 950. Looks like there was 180.
Do you read the DOM, Dakota?
I'll watch the tape, and you can see the volume right there, in this, just above you, in the DOM, where you can see the orders that were traded, and
yeah, I never even read the DOM. Like I tried to, and then I was like, it just wasn't for me. I just never got used to it, and
fair enough.
It's too much is happening for me to like get a grasp of it. But with something like with Bookmap, it's like I'm just looking at the volume, right, that comes in and what side it's on, and then the session volume profile.
And that's fair. I mean, the less distractions, the better. I don't determine whether I'm going to place a trade based off of it, but I mean, it's interesting to see what's going on. And I don't think I really pay attention to the DOM until like I'm on air and we talk about it and seeing these big orders come through. There's even a counter argument to like me not even watching it. For example, like last night, watching those huge orders come through might have helped with my short side bias. And it's hard to say because there's some very valuable information, but does it help my trading? I'm going to say no as of right now, but some traders just love it.
Yeah, for me, it's like because people can spoof orders on there, right? Like that's kind of why I like Bookmap, just reading the volume, because you can see the resting orders. I don't even use level 2 data on Bookmap. I just use what's coming in. Just seeing like where the buyers and sellers are, like following the big aggressive buyers, following the big aggressive sellers, or following passive sellers, passive buyers, right? Like if you're getting a push at the highs and you're getting a lot of volume there and the market fails to move up, that typically tells me it's a manipulated move to the upside, and you could potentially look for shorts if it's in another area of interest.
Man,
would this be considered a 3-bar reversal, or how do you define a 3-bar reversal?
All right, let's see. Yeah, on the ES, yeah, that's officially a 3-bar reversal. Let's look. Let me look it on my side. Yeah, as soon as we broke down below 55 3/4, but I don't trade ES enough to be like feel very confident on that trade. But yeah, technically, NASDAQ, it's a lot cleaner. I mean, we get a little bit more volatility, so we're already 20 points lower. Oh man, volatility in slow markets is just insane lately. Yeah,
sometimes it's nicer to trade the slow markets than the New York markets. I've noticed that recently. Like sometimes you get like crazy moves in the slow markets, or like just super clean moves, and then you go into New York session, it's a chop fest.
Yeah, and then we're chopping around 50 points both direction, and you can't really it's really difficult to manage your risk.
Yeah,
because tape bombs, obviously, right? You get some random 100-point tape bomb.
Are you ready for NFP tomorrow? How do you do on NFP days?
Oh yeah, that's right. It's NFP. What? That's right. Tomorrow's Friday. Sit back and watch. Just sit back and watch.
I usually do shit on NFP days. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
They're just like my worst days. Either they're really good or they're just terrible for me. The last one, think was good. I can't remember. I think it was good.
It's just popcorn, watch, see how this market reacts, and enjoy watching the chat go crazy. That's my entertainment on an NFP day. And then after things start to settle down, then there's plenty of opportunities, right? When in this type of market condition with volatility, there's opportunities, but throw in an NFP event, then it's just going to magnify it to where there's probably too many opportunities for traders to self-sabotage themselves.
I don't think the market's too concerned with the job market either at the moment. Like you see, like what was that recent report we had? Either it was today or yesterday.
Yeah, I think it was less than expected. It's non-farm payroll.
50% less than expected. And the market just pumped. Like it didn't care. But I think that's because it indicates that Powell should be cutting rates. Also, the GDP. Yeah. I thought that GDP number would cause a lot more panic than it did.
Yeah, I mean, that's the idea, right? Everyone talks about that. Good news being bad news, good news being good news, bad news being good news, yada, yada, yada. It keeps going. I mean, it's so hard to tell from my perspective, other than just find good places to buy if you're looking for long term and just trade the price action in front of you and just stay away from big events like that, because for myself, I end up getting
gamble on a CPI candle.
Yeah, exactly. And look at this short play off in the NASDAQ. Dang it, everyone.
Yeah, down 40 points from the highs.
Yeah, 40 points. Now, is this the pullback? Is this a pullback to buy, everybody? That is the question.
Let's take a look here. I think it could go a little bit lower, like down towards that 382. If it heads there, I think that could be your pullback to buy. ES is still holding up, so potentially short ES, but like this is the area I want to be buying in, so I don't want to short right when we're above the area. I want to be a buyer in.
I mean, I could see if NASDAQ gets back down towards... I mean, this is kind of where we were at last night, everybody. This is exactly where we were last night. 920s, 930s.
Yeah, the big buyers were at 19,890. And it looks like the volume profile is clearing up a little bit. Right now, it's kind of ugly still. There's just a bunch of spikes in it, which I don't really like to see.
I mean, maybe if we get back down to, I don't, that's kind of a stretch, these 880s, 890s in the NASDAQ.
It's not, it could get down there. Right now, it looks like it's basing.
Yeah, it does. Is this going to be another one that I just talked and not trade it? I'm switching over to micros. I'm going to throw on a long.
I'm gonna throw on one mini long. Oh, my symbol's blocked. My ES symbol's blocked.
I just missed it. I went and I clicked buy bid and it missed. So let me see. I still might be able to get into it. Did you block your ES?
Yeah, because I was showing a student how to put the blockers in, so I just used ES as an example. And so I just tried to enter and it said order rejected, and I was like, what?
Take one for the cause.
Yeah, I forgot I had blockers on. Those blockers, I need to make a video on the blockers because they're so useful, and I think a lot of people would get value out of them. Because I've seen so many times where people are trying to do micros and they accidentally trade 5 minis and then hit their DLL or
I've done that.
Whatever it is. Yep. I've done it. I think everyone's done it.
Everyone's done it. It's so useful. Just block out the mini if you're trading micros. I didn't place that trade though. I don't like the way that this price action is.
I'm gonna see if this just bases to rally.
Yeah, we're selling off on destroying the lower highs. I want to make an argument to short this though. Ooh, 100 contracts came in. Oh, I'm on micros. Never mind.
So what is that, 10? 10
Yeah.
regular size?
Yeah, exactly. Looks big, but nothing. Blown my account because of that mistake. Yeah, fat fingered. I've done it in my live, unfortunately.
Yeah, everyone's done it. Everyone's done it because they're trying to trade the micros and they trade the mini.
Yep, if you haven't, you're lying.
Yeah, I've done it. I've done it more than once. I've done it multiple times on Tradeovate, and it's always like one of those things where you hit the enter position and you're like, why is my P&L fluctuating that much? And then you have like, either you freeze up and you're like, oh shit, and you like just let it blow the account, or you like exit immediately. That's kind of how I've had those moments.
The one time I was trading with Rips on the TopstepTV takeover, and yeah, I fat fingered 15, and it was during the New York session, like near the open, and it was so volatile it didn't even last a second. It was just boom, instant daily loss limit. Oh, okay. Don't show that on screen.
I've traded 15. I traded 15 minis in XFAs, and it was kind of ugly in November. I had 5 XFAs I was copy trading, and I was trading slow markets, and I put 15 minis on times 5, and I was up on the trade, and I was up like 12 grand across 5 accounts, so it was like 60K, and I set my stop and profit like 8K, and then it hit my stop, and then I re-entered with 15, re-entered, ended up blowing the accounts on that day, and I was up like 110K total in those 5 XFAs, and it was like after that I hit a spiral where I was just like getting into combines, passing them, blow the XFA, getting combine, blow them, pass, like just got stuck in that cycle, and I was like, I just took a step back and I was like,
look at this market now. I got in long in the NASDAQ 923, and we're 20 points higher. How's that? Your ES trade doing? Look at that. Nice trade, man.
Looking good so far.
Nice
I kind of
trade.
want to add another one, but I think that might be a little greedy. It was that bait, like when we get this big pump up and it doesn't immediately like retrace, it just builds that base that can indicate that there's still more momentum. If I add a second one, 5 points, $500. $500 to make 2 grand. 4 to 1.
4 to 1 risk reward. I only got in 1 micro, but hey, 1 micro is better than nothing. I was thinking.
I've seen people do a lot with 1 micro. I've seen someone make like $700 with 1 micro.
100%.
If you were using a mini, that's 7 grand.
Yep. I was looking at this and just being a little bit hesitant, and then we rejected these 17s again and started to push higher, and I'm like, I'm jumping in with just 1 with the idea of scaling in, and this thing is just, man, that was 20 points in so fast in slow markets. It feels like the New York session back in a year ago.
Yeah. Yeah, trading the markets like even 6 months ago is completely different than now. Like the people coming in to trading just now, it's like you don't realize how crazy this is. And they're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, dude, normally NASDAQ moves like 200 to 400 points in a day, and you're getting like 500 point moves.
Here comes the second push here.
Yeah, we got a buyer 85 volume, 56, 58. And then on NASDAQ, there was 128 transacted at 19.926. You could either push this up or they're trapped. One of the two.
That's about where it is. Yes.
We're hoping that they push it up.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I want to see NASDAQ get over 945.
Yeah, because this could run past the highs from New York session.
I might just bail out of this one, Baron.
Yeah, I'm kind of sketched.
I have my stop loss at -1 point in the NASDAQ. Just
mine's at 4 points on ES.
Okay.
5 points about $500. I'm already 463 in drawdown, so that would put me. I wouldn't have much room to work with.
Do you have a lot of stress with having a tight daily loss limit, or has that helped you?
I don't think it's helped me. I think it's more so like, because typically I'm trading without a daily loss limit on other accounts, and it's like I kind of just trade how I would normally trade. With the DLL. It's like I'm almost looking over my shoulder, like, am I gonna hit this or not?
That's a big question. That's a big debate I've had myself. I've talked with the risk managers, and I've always wondered, like, does the daily loss, how tight should a daily loss limit? What is the correct daily loss limit for a trader? And for somebody trading, of course, the answer is it depends. And then at one point I had mine at like 15,000. Then I like adjusted it to 10.
That's a lot. That was a big daily loss limit.
Right. I mean, it's all relative.
Yeah.
In my personal account, the one that I have my personal, I do options and everything with. My daily loss limit is it's pretty big. It's about over 50,000 for a daily loss limit.
Okay.
Now that's not like realized, of course. Unrealized, I'm okay with over $50,000 in a day, and I've seen bigger swings like that. This April has been absolutely insane. Looking at your P&L, and it's like, dang, I've lost $250,000 in unrealized money here in April. And that's completely different than what we're doing here with like this Topstep account, day trading a futures market. And it's like, what is right there? Because this is like, you're in and out, you open a position, then you close that same position, and what's the correct drawdown that we allow ourselves? And I've debated a lot, man. I've debated a lot of what
it started out trading options, and it's, for me, like, I'll let my, like, typically when I'm trading options, well, it's not like I'm in and out like with futures. It's more like, okay, I'm going to let this trade play out for 2 hours or 3 hours, or I'm going to let this trade play out for 5 days, 6 days, whatever it is. That's typically when I'm trading well. When I'm trying to mix how I trade with futures with how I trade with options, it doesn't work for me. I always tend to like just enter positions and then lose money, and I'm like, fuck, I should have just kept my original position on.
Yeah, I mean, daily loss limits can be a savior. I see it save so many traders, so many accounts where, like, yeah, I only lost $1,500 today, and then when you have a good day, you make, you know, 3,000, 4,000, and that's like, wow, I just made up for a whole.
I almost got stopped. Dakota. I was 1 point from being stopped, or I was.
You're still in this.
0.75. I was 3 ticks off being stopped. But we're getting a nice rally.
I got stopped out. Well, we just got done talking about NASDAQ for the ES, right?
That's why I switched to ES, because NASDAQ's been stopping me too much. And
like minus $4. I got stopped out at break even on that.
You might be getting close to the daily loss limit with that one, Dakota.
Man, look at that! What a turnaround! What a trade, man!
When we get up to, I would say when we get up to these, Where do I scale this is my question, because I don't want to hold this all the way. I don't want to hold the 2 cons all the way. I want to take some off. I should probably take one off at 10 or 15 points just so I clear out my drawdown. I think that's good management.
Yeah, you're in 2. You're in 2. And
So
you
I
have
scale
that
it.
luxury of closing a portion of it off. And
I'm just going
follow
to
that.
tighten this up a little bit because I don't want it to turn on me.
Yeah, follow that process, man.
That's one thing I had to tell people, because I do the trade review. I do trade review on my Discord every single day. And it's like, people will post their charts and it's like, they've got like 5 micros on and they're like $400 in drawdown and they're up $2,000 on the trade. And I'm like, dude, why don't you scale 2 of those off? Then you're completely out of drawdown. You let the 3 run.
Yeah, stress-free.
You adjust your stop and profit, and then even if it hits your stop, like you're still up on the day.
Yes.
It's one of those mental things that it helps to know that you're out of drawdown. When you're trading from drawdown, I've had it too many times where I've just gone for like a $200 winning day or $1,000 winning day, and I've put myself in drawdown on that first trade and tried to claw it back. Ooh, big pump.
Look at this, man. Amazing.
Clean trade in slow markets. I want to build a nice buffer on this in slow markets. I think that's how I need to approach slow markets, is just build like a $1,000 to $2,000 cushion, so that when I go into New York, I have like the ability to trade with more size, right? I can trade 2, 3 cons, because that's where I'm like happiest at, is that 2 or 3 con area. And because I've just been trading like 1 mini on ES or on NQ, and it's hard to scale and adjust stops and all that when you're trading with just 1.
Okay. Look at this rally, dude. This Nasdaq's, it's going. Straight to 20,000 in the Nasdaq, maybe.
ES up to 5,700. Should that be the 2 games of
5,700. Hey, at this point, this
40
market,
points?
anything can happen.
40 points, that's what, $4,000, I think? It's 1,000 every 10 on 2.
There you go.
That'd be a nice buffer to start the day with. That gives me some room to work with. Could have like a 10K day off that. I've got that kind of buffer. But it is NFP tomorrow, so don't want to go too crazy.
Making your daily loss limit in 1 trade.
Yeah, it's a good way to look at it.
No, I'm enjoying this, man. You're doing you're trading it up. I could just sit back, relax, and listen to the music.
Yeah, you can just read the chat.
I could just read the chat. I don't have the pressure to trade or anything. I lost my $4. Now I could. This is worth the price of admission to watch this. $4.
Yeah, I'm gonna let the 2 ride.
Okay.
And I'll just keep this stop at 6 points, because if it stops me out, then I'm out of drawdown. Let's scale 1 at the highs here, at these highs, if we run up there. So at 82, I'll scale 1. I'll just set a limit right there. Right up there. And then let that last one just ride. It looks good. The chart looks good on the 15-minute. We're well above the 8 EMA. No red candles on the 15 either. Just all green. So this looks like a good rally. I just want to take advantage of it while I'm in the position. Dakota, you're going to be in Chicago in June, yeah?
I don't know if they announced that. I don't know if they announced that yet, man. Maybe.
I didn't say a time frame or anything.
Okay. There's always stuff brewing, but yes, wink, wink. Yes, I do plan to travel in June.
Okay, I'm not confirmed on traveling. My next travel spot is.
If you want it, do you? I mean, I've always wanted to go see that big mirror in Chicago, and if you want to hang out around there, I'm sure, just as friends.
Can take a little trip out there. Yeah, my next planned travel is it's Italy. I'm supposed to go to Italy with my friend. He lives in Hawaii, and he's gonna fly out to Dallas, and then we're gonna make our way over to. I think we're going to Spain first, and then Germany, and then Italy. I think that's the plan. In like September or October.
Okay. That sounds fun. You got your passport?
I do, yeah. My dad was from Scotland, and he traveled a lot. He was always on tour, so like my mom and him always traveled a lot, so they always were like, you gotta have your passport. You have to have your passport.
Okay. So you've been to Scotland.
When I was like 6. Okay, we are out.
Okay, bam. There you go. In the positive. Great trade.
If it stopped me out to run, that's a little upsetting.
Hey, it stopped me out and ran, but it wasn't the same size as what you have right now.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if we get a little retest.
We did reject up there, so.
Yeah, right at that supply zone where we've rejected before.
Yep.
There's an internal supply there as well. Right here, I'd say. Right in there. It's getting some rejection. I don't know if we'll see continuation.
I might jump into a short here.
Yeah, we're getting some sells. 266 sell volume on ES at 566.
Okay, I'm in short one NASDAQ. Risking 1,000. So risking stop loss is at there you go. There you go. I'm short right at 953. Stop loss is at 04 quarter. So
just one or two?
Just one. Yeah, just one. Smaller size.
50-point stop. It's a wide stop.
Well, I'll probably, most likely, I'll get out. I mean, it's $1,000.
Yeah. You have more loss limit torque with them. $1,000 is like almost all my loss limit.
Fair. Now, if I see something I'll like, I do like. If maybe we consolidate or have that, like some type of better pattern, I will add to this.
It looks good so far. There is some volume that needs to get filled out. Some areas where price didn't transact. The volume profile's filled out a little bit. There's a low volume node at 19,910 and another one at 19,890. And then the next one after that is until 19861. So we could fill one or two of those. It's a pretty nice short. 19910.
This is almost identical to my trade last night, man. Looking for those 880s, 890s, maybe a test of 900 even. And now, if you want to talk about PTSD from a trade from just a night ago, this is very similar feelings.
I still kind of want to long it because there's sells coming in, but it's not moving lower. It just has to be tight.
PTSD.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for it to see if we get continuation. I'm just gonna do one for right now. I want these highs to get taken.
Hey, statistically, if you're in a long and I'm in a short, you would win 70% of the time.
Is that how that works?
Yeah, that's my statistics. I have a 25 to 35% win rate, so that therefore I have a 75+% lose rate. I mean,
okay, so you're hitting mostly big trades then, where you're just getting crazy RR.
Yeah, 2 to 1, 3 to 1, and then scaling in, right?
Usually. What's your RR usually, Dakota?
I like to have usually a 2 to 1 or a 3 to 1, and it depends, of course, on the setup. And for example, if I lose this trade, I lost 50 points. But then on a good trade setup, where say we, hang around here and I add to it and I build a position where I'd get into say 5 minis, and then I make 50 points, right? From a point perspective, I lost 50 points on one contract, and then I made 50 points on 5. So the dollar amount risk reward is great, but the points might be a little bit off.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense. In my exit phase, I had around I think it was a 45 or 50% win rate with a 3 to 1 RR, which is pretty nice. Today on ES, I only had like a 1 to 1.5 RR, but I had like an 80% win rate.
I just added.
Okay. I added to mine as well, so I have 2 minis back. I don't know. I think I think I've seen enough in Asia where you'll get you'll get a sharp move up and then a sharp move down, and then you think there's going to be continuation to the downside, and then it just keeps moving up again. So I have PTSD from that, so I'm just avoiding that. Where I'm like, I'm just going to just long it. Just assume it keeps running up.
See chat, it doesn't really matter. We follow our process. It doesn't matter. Regardless of what anybody else's opinion is, we follow our process.
I think that's the other thing. Every time we've been on Topstep TV, we've been inversing each other.
Yeah,
there was that one trade I took that was it ended up being like a 600-point trade, and you were like, I was short, and then you longed the bottom, you got like 50 to 100 points out of it, you closed, I kept my short on while you were longing, and then my short ended up, we both made money. It was just you scalped the long move, and I just held the short for, it was like a 2.5 hour trade. It was a long trade. It was a very long trade. And I was only using like 2 micros on it too.
Yeah, let's see what the tilt is. The tilt is long biased. So the tilt's with you. Not by a lot, but like 55%, 60%.
Yeah. I never look at the tilt anymore. I did when it first came out, and then I was like, is this influencing my trades? And I was like, yes, it is.
Yeah, I do it because it's fun.
It's fun to see. It's fun to see where everyone else is at.
Yeah, and to have the chat. To me, the tilt is the chat.
a good way to think about it.
Yep.
It's the TV chat.
Yeah, come on, chat. Chat's long. Look at it. So now we watch. Yeah, we're holding those 50s, which is.
Yeah, it's if on Bookmap there's just no heavy selling, Dakota. Like it's whenever we get that heavy selling, it just immediately gets bought up by passive buyers. So far, it's hard to time the reversals on Asia. Typically, you'll see what I like to look for is like a spike of volume and then an immediate reversal off that spike of volume.
There we go.
And to me, like this spike of volume, right? This isn't a strong enough reversal. You would see it drop super quick off that. Like if you look at back where we had this rally, right? You do get a volume spike here. It's not super significant, but you get this volume spike here, and then it immediately pumps after that volume spike.
Yep, and I do see some big orders hanging out higher. There's on the NASDAQ at 980 and 979. There's about 80 contracts chilling there. So that would be positive for buyers looking to push the market up there. And you're in the money. Maybe we could get the ES to just go straight up and the NASDAQ to sell off. Will they
I don't think that's how that typically works. They're too correlated on the like if you look at the holdings, they're too correlated.
Yeah, I know they are. I've seen them where like one is a leader, one's a lagger, but never. I can't say never, but. Usually if one's up 2%, the other one's green as well.
Yeah. I do like, I know there's some people, have you traded ICT at all, Dakota?
I have not. I've seen a lot of traders mentioning it. And
well, typically it's the acronym I can't trade.
Is it really?
That's what a lot of people make fun of it for, but there's a big thing in there where they're like, it's SMT, smart money tactics, where like ES makes a higher high and NQ doesn't make the same higher high, and then you get a sell off on it. And everyone like always comes and they ask me like, do you trade ICT or SMT or any of that? And it's like I use a couple of the concepts like time-based liquidity and true day open, right? Those are the two main concepts I really use, but I don't use like all the other stuff like break of structure, change in state of delivery. Like there's so much terminology, it gets kind of crazy to me. But I will use, it's kind of like a form of SMT where you'll see like ES break its initial balance high and low, and NQ will hold its initial balance low. And then you'll see a rally start. Or you'll have the reverse where one breaks the high of the initial balance and the other doesn't, and then it sells off.
Interesting. I know whenever, like sometimes when I'm trading, I'll see the chat be like, hey, that's an ICT trade, and I don't know what they're referring to. Whenever I just know it's a popular concept for traders, or not all traders, but some traders.
If it works, it works. I mean, you see like some people trade, like there's do you know who Jade Cap is?
Yeah. I just watched him do. He's the one that just did an interview with one of the guys that.
Yeah, he took like a $3 million payout.
Yeah.
And all he trades is ICT concepts. There's some of those big traders out there who are only trading it at the top. So it's successful. I think it's successful in the right hands.
Yeah, I mean, if someone's able to take a concept or what someone teaches and make it their like a good process around it, then definitely. I've been trying to spend some time to research some of that stuff so I could be up to date with a lot.
Yeah, because you do coaching, yeah, with like the Topstep VIP program.
Yep. And I don't really talk about different concepts, but I think it's important to learn about new stuff.
Yeah, because like I have it inside my Discord for like a mentorship program. It's like people come in with ICT or supply and demand or whatever it is. So it's helpful to have an understanding of it, so you can like kind of see how they're framing trades or like try to help them out because they want to use that system. But it's not something that I use.
Fair enough. Andreas, just passed your 150K eval on that drop. Well, great work. Great work.
Very nice. It's always good to. It's always a good feeling to like pass the eval before the next day starts. Don't even have to trade New York.
It's Friday's price action too. This week goes by so fast. It's already May.
I know. I feel like it was just January, like a few months ago. Or a few months ago, a few days ago.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Coach J, ICT, SMC, PO3, Dakota in 5. Yeah, Oh, man. How does it feel, man? Does time go by slower or faster now that you don't have a job?
I feel like it goes by faster, but I think it's because like I stream every single day and I finish around like 10:30 or 11 and then I take a break.
What do you do?
And then I'm able to do a lot more with my day, like go for a walk, go to the gym, cook, like all that sort of stuff. Or I've been playing a lot of. Did you ever play Oblivion, Dakota?
I don't think so, man. Wait. Let me.
Oblivion, the Elder Scrolls game.
I had a friend that did. I played with him once on this.
They just released a remastered version of it, and it's like all the graphics are updated and everything. So I've been sinking time into that. But yeah, I used to be a huge like gamer and all that. Now not so much because my time's kind of packed up. Just with like creating content, trying to grow brand, trade, manage my Discord, all that. But it feels like time goes by quick.
Okay. Do you think? It hasn't been that long. It hasn't been that long. Find ways to pack your days. Has it? Well, I guess time goes by fast for me. I'm the game I play. I haven't played League of Legends. I haven't played any. I remember playing like Call of Duty in junior high and high school when like the original Call of Duty and that. But Age of Empires that's an older game that they still do tournaments. They still do big tournaments. Red Bull did like a $100,000 tournament this year.
Yeah, I saw there was I used to play Warcraft 3. I saw that they're still doing Warcraft 3 tournaments, and I'm like, I was playing that game when I was like 9.
Yeah. I guess there's big money involved now on some of that stuff.
Yeah, I think it's like the OG strategy games they're still popular.
Yeah.
I used to play a lot of like Total War as well.
Man DF says I loved Age of Empires in elementary school. They're like 2000, 2002 is when it was like coming out. This is my game of choice. This is my strategy game. It's called the NASDAQ. It's one of the hardest ones there is.
It's unpredictable.
I know. You can't just load up a new DLC and it's not pay per play. Is it? Is it pay to play?
It's pay to play. It's definitely pay to play.
Yeah. The ones with the money takes money to make money. Yeah, I played Crusaders. Yes, Stronghold Crusaders. That's 1990s right there.
I've never heard of that.
Some Candy Crush.
Have you, when you're using that 3-bar reversal, Dakota, do you only use it on, what time frame do you use it on?
5 minute. 5 minute, but it's valid on, I mean, markets are fractal, so I say it's valid on any time frame realistically. It just depends on how you use it. Higher time
Kind of
frame.
looks like it on the 15.
Yeah,
right
higher the time frame, the more valid it is. Typically, like a daily chart, yeah, 3-bar reversal is pretty strong. And where you use it, I mean, depends. Like, it's the most important. Like, are you using it at a level where we're at support and resistance, or are you just using it just randomly? Like, there's a lot more to it than just simple 3-bar reversal. Oh yeah, there's another one, American Pie, Command and Conquers. Nintendo 64. That was the stuff.
I remember playing, I forget what game it was. It was on my friend's, like, Sega Genesis or something.
Yeah, Sega.
When I was like 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what the game was, but it was, I remember being, okay, I'm stuffed out. So I'm back into drawdown, unfortunately.
Still not dramatic.
Not terrible. It's manageable.
Yep.
I still like longs, even though we're like up in the top of the range.
Well, let's wait. Let's hold off on the longs right
Yeah,
now. Let's let this market just sell off.
Yeah. You scaled into that, yeah? How many?
I did. I'm
on?
short too. Yep. I got into another one. I almost made an argument to add again when we got back up to those 960s and kind of hesitated there for a minute. And I was gonna add if we came back down. I stopped myself. Now with the power of hindsight, it looks like a beautiful double top. We broke through this. Now the question is, we're getting back down to this support zone, and if we break through that, maybe we could get back down to those 880s, 890s.
It's coming down. Getting some sell.
How's the gold looking? Gold's kind of just chopping around.
Pushing into where we had big volume before. I want to hit the buy button, but I just got stopped out.
Yeah, you're gonna trade tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna trade tomorrow.
Not to blow it all in one session.
Yes, well, markets can't be doing that.
Not at
My
night.
friend
Man.
came over too because he was like, I'm sick of my 9 to 5. I want to learn how to trade.
Okay.
Like, come over. But you got to show up at like 8 a.m. or 7:30.
Never mind. Yeah, that's.
No, he was up for it, but
Okay.
we'll see if he shows up.
All right.
Because he knows about stocks and stuff, but he doesn't know anything about trading.
Fair enough. Dakota, I need to give my 3-bar reversal a fancy name like the other gurus. Hey, you could just find something, repackage it up, name it, and sell it, right? And it's still the same thing.
Yeah. I'm gonna try this with just one. I still think we run these highs. I still think I'm convinced in my soul we run these highs. $22 points. I could just be wrong again though. We'll see. Just one.
Okay.
Amount of drawdown.
I mean, we bounced off those 920s again. So.
Yeah, I saw something on Bookmap I liked. We got aggressive selling at the 560 level, and we didn't continue to move down. $5,660.
What would we name a 3-bar reversal, chat? We just call it the DBA reversal?
DBA concepts.
Yeah, that's the D candle, that's the B candle, that's the A candle. We could package it, sell it, and make millions.
You gotta say that you created the algorithm though, Dakota. That's the secret marketing play.
Yeah, we learned like three letters. That's a big point, right? That also fits like easy affiliate codes that I could shill out to different prop firms and roll in the money that way, and then maybe set up some courses and write a book, and then I don't even have to trade.
No, you're going about this all wrong, Dakota.
Okay, help me out here.
You want to move to Miami. Okay.
Okay, move time.
You want to buy a Lamborghini.
Miami,
right.
Florida, check. Lamborghini. Okay.
Okay, you're going to wrap the Lamborghini. You're going to put like DBA concepts all over it.
Okay.
Right? So on like the doors and everything.
Like that.
So wherever you drive around, it looks obnoxious.
Okay.
And then you're going to want to buy like a iced out AP.
An iced out what?
Audemars Piguet watch.
Oh, okay. Yeah, watch. Yeah, definitely got to get the watch in there. And
then you wanna just flex on social media every day. Just like caption your stories like too easy, DBA concepts, that sort of thing.
Like,
and
if
then
you didn't take this, you suck. Right?
Yeah, just start making fun of every other trader.
It's like, if I degrade everybody, then I'm okay. I get that. Is that? I see that too much. Hey, whatever works, I guess. I mean, you can't argue with the money. It's been working since the internet started.
It attracts eyes.
I remember. I remember an older video where the guy was like, "So I bought this Lamborghini in my car, my garage, or something." It was like old.
Oh, Ty Lopez with all the books.
Yeah, okay.
Ty Lopez. Yeah, he's like the OG. What's those things called? Where it's just like a pyramid scheme, and it's like they start you out at the bottom, but like
yes,
if you
that's
stay
him. Yeah, that's who you're referring. That's what you're referring to, right?
Multi-level marketing scheme or whatever.
Yes, that's who you're referring to, right? That's what came to my mind.
Yeah, that's what you want to do, but with like trading.
Ah, got it. Yeah, that's exactly it. Wow. Okay. Okay. Well.
Ooh, nice pop. Nice little pop.
What do I do with my day after trading? It depends, man. I go boxing, golf, boxing.
I've never gotten into golf. I've golfed like twice, but all my friends in college would go do it, and my two best friends, they also do it. But they live in Washington and Hawaii, so I'm like, can't go golf out there, right? It's,
fair enough. What have you been doing now? What have you do when you're not trading or on your Discord?
It's making like content, right? Some of it's making content, and then I was doing a 75 hard. I cracked yesterday. I didn't make it to the gym. So I was on like day 15. I got to start over. I'm starting over on Monday.
Okay. Remind me what a 75 hard is. It's
two workouts a day. You stick to a diet and you read 10 pages of book a day and no alcohol.
Okay, fair. What book?
So I did everything besides the gym workout. Like I went for the walk, I ate the same thing, and then read, didn't drink or anything, and then I just didn't get to the gym.
What do you read? What are you reading?
Right now I'm reading I forget what the book's called. It's like a mindset book. It's like how to shift your mindset. It's written by a PhD. Typically I like psychology books. But I did read like all the Game of Thrones books and stuff like that. But with the 75 hard, you're not supposed to be reading fiction books. They have to be like nonfiction. So like it's starting to heat up in Texas. So it's about to be like pool days, like every day, where it's just like I go out by the pool, read, then come back in, maybe trade PM session, go for a walk, go to the gym, make dinner, chill out. I think I need to get a dog though.
Yeah. Go get a.
I think I need to get a dog.
Okay.
Do you have any pets or anything, Dakota?
No, I don't think I can handle pets. I mean, especially if I plan to travel. I don't want to always be finding someone to take care of them, and it's not fair to the pet. If I was to get a pet and then I'm always traveling or doing something, and if I was to get a pet, I would need to make sure that I'm going to be there to take care of it.
Yeah, I'm not traveling too much. So I'm like, I could do it. And I've got a friend who, she has a mini schnauzer, and she was like, yeah, if you get a dog, you can always like take care of it for like 2 weeks or whatever it is. I'm like, okay, because I've taken care of their dog before when they're like they'll go on like 2 or 3 week long cruises, and like I'll take care of their dog for like 2 weeks.
Oh wow.
So they're like, we'll do the same.
Yeah, chat. Maybe I'll get a goldfish.
Goldfish?
Maybe I get a turtle. I call them slow markets.
He's got to have a better name than slow markets.
What do we call him? We'll call him. What would be a
good turtle names? But something that's slow.
The ES.
That would make a good pet name.
Call it ES. I don't know. A turtle named Nikkei? That's a good one. I like.
Yeah, Nikkei might work. Because Nikkei, like most people aren't gonna know that. That's the.
Yeah, they think it's like the shoe. Like, oh, you mean the shoe? Oh, no. Like the Japanese futures markets. Whose trade's on screen? That is Baron's. You're in the money. Long, yes.
By half a point.
And I'm in a short. And we're jamming. We are coming to the end of the session. We can end it here, Baron, unless you wanted to stay until the trade plays out. I
think this trade might take a couple hours to play out. It's the only thing. I'd say give it another 5-10 minutes.
Okay, we'll give it another 5-10 minutes, and if not, you could leave. I'm probably gonna stay a little bit later, and I hate leaving the traders. I've been thinking like, man, lately I've been having these streams go a little bit longer because I'm in a trade, so I've been debating like, man, do I really need to?
You feel kind of obligated to the chat.
Yeah, without letting them, like, leaving them hanging. But then I'm like, why would I get in a trade and then just do that again? But maybe these trades play out sooner than later.
Yeah. That's the one thing with the overnight. It's like you can have a trade that takes a few hours to play out.
Correct. Yeah, different level of patience that's required for this.
I think that's where I got a lot of my patience from, is trading the overnight, because sometimes you sit on that trade for 4 hours before it finally makes its move.
That is correct. Yep, and that's why I don't mind just putting on the trade, go and watch a movie, Netflix, eat dinner or something, monitor it on my phone or something, and then check back.
Check in every 5 to 10 minutes or so.
Yeah. Do you listen to music when you trade?
I do. I was posting my live streams on YouTube, so I had to stop playing music, and then I stopped posting my live streams on YouTube. So I started listening to music again. So usually I'm listening to it's just my Spotify on shuffle, all my liked songs. So it will mix between like house, R&B, hip hop, and then like classic rock. So or like indie music too. So it's a big like melting pot of everything.
Okay, so it's never boring. It's never the same stuff.
No, but some of it's like music from like that, because I've had my Spotify since 2014. So some of it's like stuff I used to listen to in high school, and I don't listen to it anymore. And it'll like come on while I'm streaming. I'm like, I haven't listened to this song since like 2016. So some people like, be judging or whatever. They're like, why are we listening to this? I'm like, it's just a lot. Like I just haven't pruned out my Spotify library.
That's how I am. I have over 600 songs on my Spotify where I just like it. I haven't taken the time to categorize them. I just hit shuffle and I listen to it, and then I'm like, wow, okay, I was really in a weird mood when I liked that song.
Added that one, yeah. Well, since my dad was in the music industry, our iTunes on our old Mac had like 20,000 songs on it.
Jesus.
Yeah, and this was when it wasn't like streaming. It was like all those songs either came from a CD or were paid for on like the iTunes store.
All right. Okay. Interesting. Well, I think that's
have, like big like 120 gig iPods just filled with it. So I just shuffle those.
I know. I'm gonna let this trade play out a little bit longer. Great trade, Baron. You're in the money, and I think we could go ahead and call it. First slow markets. Happy to have you on. I think it was a success. Yeah. We didn't really have any technical issues, right? We got everything set up a little bit in advance, and we came on and made sure I had to fine tune and adjust the sound and the loudness, of course, the music, the mic, but everything worked out well. A couple trades, live accounts, everything. Man, it was a big W for the stream, I think, and. Yeah.
I think I'm down to hop on these once a week or so if that ends up working out with the schedule, or once every 2 weeks or whatever it is.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm for it too. I've really enjoyed this. I know the chat has, and any last words before we end it here?
No. I just want to say thank you. I mean, it's crazy having gone from, like I said at the start of the stream, but it's crazy having gone from like watching you on slow markets to like, okay, now I'm trading on slow markets.
I mean, that's what trading can do, right? Topstep's been absolutely amazing when it comes to giving opportunities, and like you can be just starting off a combine one day, and the next thing you know, making good money, quitting your job, and trading on air. So I think that's it, man. I appreciate it, and I look forward to catching you on either during fast markets or the next time we're on slow markets. So take care, everybody, and I will see everybody in the chat, and maybe everybody who's tuning in Topstep TV tomorrow, bright and early. I will be on fast markets. Take care.
All right. Thanks, Dakota.